Number 1. You avoid everything that requires emotional energy. Let's start with something you probably won't notice at first. Emotional fatigue. You're still attending meetings, you're replying to emails, but when a friend calls to talk about their breakup, you let it ring. Or you reply to a heartfelt message with a single emoji because even typing feels like too much. When your partner wants to chat after a long day, you give one-word answers. And it's not because you don't care, but because your emotional battery is dead. In fact, studies show that emotional exhaustion is the most common first symptom of burnout, often appearing weeks before you realize you're physically tired. This kind of withdrawal is one of the earliest signs of burnout. You're conserving what little energy you have for survival tasks, work, bills, responsibilities, but everything that used to make you feel human, it starts to feel like a chore. And here's the scary part. The longer you avoid emotional connection, the harder it becomes to get that energy back. Do you find yourself ghosting people more often, even though you miss them? That's not coldness, that's burnout. Number 2, you reward yourself with numbness, not joy. Burnout doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes it looks like watching 6 episodes of a show you don't even like just to avoid thinking. When you're burnt out, your idea of relaxation shifts. You stop doing things that make you feel alive, and instead start chasing things that simply help you feel less. You trade hobbies for habits. Journaling becomes doom scrolling. Cooking becomes ordering the same meal 3 nights in a row. You're not doing what you love anymore. You're doing what helps you feel nothing. According to Harvard Business Review, people in burnout cycles are more likely to binge content or engage in passive behaviors, and that's because their dopamine system is out of balance. And while a little escapism is healthy, constant numbness is not. It's a red flag that your brain is begging for a break it never gets. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you felt genuinely restored after a break? If you can't remember, you're not resting, you're just hiding.
3. You start hating things. You used to be great at burnout, often disguises itself as laziness or apathy. But what's really happening is deeper. Let's say you used to love writing, or problem solving, or helping people. Now, every time you open your laptop or get assigned a project, it feels like dragging a boulder uphill. Burnout turns purpose into punishment. Your brain, once excited by challenges, starts rejecting them. You might start doubting your skills or wondering why you're suddenly bad at your job or passion. You're not. You're exhausted. And here's the science to prove it. Burnout reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus and creativity. So when your spark dims, it's not you losing talent. It's your brain protecting itself. One of the cruelest tricks of burnout is making you question your identity. Because when everything you used to love starts feeling heavy, you begin to think maybe you changed. But chances are you haven't lost your spark. You're just buried under stress, pressure, and unmet needs. 4. You get irritated by everything traffic. Typing noises. The way someone chews gum. When you're approaching burnout, your tolerance shrinks, and the smallest inconvenience can feel like a full-blown crisis. That's because your nervous system is maxed out. Burnout activates your fight or flight response. Constantly. Your body's stress chemicals stay elevated, which means you're always just one step away from snapping, even if the trigger is tiny. So if you've noticed yourself being shorter with loved ones or having less patience for mistakes, it's not just a mood swing. It's your mind waving a white flag. Even your own breathing can start to annoy you, and that's when you know it's deeper than just a bad day. Someone noticing might think you need anger management, but what you really need is recovery. 5. You struggle to celebrate wins. You hit a milestone, a promotion, maybe finished a massive project. Someone compliments your work, and nothing. No pride, no joy. Just relief that it's over. Or worse, indifference. This emotional flatness is called anhedonia, and it's common in burnout. When your brain is overwhelmed for long periods, it starts to turn down all emotions, not just the negative ones. So even when good things happen, they don't land. They don't register. And you might even find yourself asking, quietly and more often than you'd like, what's the point? This emotional blunting is your brain's survival mode. It filters out joy because it's too focused on staying functional, and joy, unfortunately, isn't considered essential. The truth is, you probably didn't stop caring. You just stopped having the emotional bandwidth to feel it. And that's one of the saddest effects of burnout. It doesn't just make life harder, it makes joy way quieter. 6. You can't sleep, even when you're dead tired. This one confuses a lot of people. They say, I'm exhausted. Why can't I sleep? Because your body might be tired, but your brain is in overdrive. Burnout creates what researchers call cognitive hyperarousal. It means your mind won't stop spinning, even when your body begs for rest. You might fall asleep and wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about tomorrow's to-do list. Or you lie in bed scrolling for hours, too wired to close your eyes. Lack of sleep worsens every other burnout symptom: focus, mood, memory. It becomes a vicious cycle. And here's the irony: the more burnt out you get, the more you convince yourself you don't deserve rest. That you need to finish more, prove more, earn rest. A 2021 survey found that 67% of burned out professionals reported insomnia or sleep disturbances, often for months at a time. So rest is a requirement, no reward. 7. You daydream about quitting everything you fantasize about disappearing. Moving to the mountains, deleting your email and starting over. But instead of taking a break or setting boundaries, you keep showing up. Every day. It's called functional burnout. You're still getting things done, but with zero fulfillment and a growing resentment that can quietly destroy your well-being over time. This internal tug of war is a classic sign of burnout. You're desperate for change, but just too depleted to make any. It's paralysis, not laziness. Your decision-making is clouded, your motivation is flat, and your ability to take action? Gone. So you stay stuck, resenting the life you built, yet too drained to build another one. If this sounds familiar, don't beat yourself up. You're not weak, you're only burnt out. And when your body is in survival mode, the only thing it wants is certainty, even if that means staying miserable. 8. You constantly feel like you're falling behind. Burnout skews your perception of time and productivity. No matter how much you do, it never feels like enough. You check off 12 tasks, but all you see are the 3 you missed. You rest on Sunday, but feel guilty for not doing more. This is often referred to as productivity shame, a hidden symptom of burnout where rest feels unsafe, even when your body needs it most. That voice in your head saying, you're slacking, you're lazy, you should be grinding, that's not ambition. That's burnout's inner critic talking, and it's fueled by shame. This toxic productivity loop convinces you that rest equals failure, that slowing down is dangerous, that if you stop, everything will collapse. But the truth is, you're not behind. You're overloaded. The world doesn't need more of your output. It needs more of you, alive and well. 9. Your identity is glued to being the reliable one. This one is sneaky. You're the one people call in a crisis. You pick up extra shifts, you remember birthdays, you hold everything together. But somewhere along the way, being reliable became your whole personality. You've been so reliable for everyone else that you stopped being available to yourself. Now, even when you're breaking down, you don't ask for help because you don't want to let anyone down. You think, I can handle it. They need me. I'll be fine. That's not strength. That's self-erasure, sadly. Research shows that people with high empathy and a strong sense of duty are at higher risk for burnout because they rarely give themselves the grace they offer others. Burnout thrives in people who care deeply but don't set limits. And the longer you sacrifice yourself for everyone else, the more invisible you become, not just to them, but to yourself. So here's the question. Who are you when you're not the fixer? If you don't have an answer, it's time to step back. 10. You can't imagine a future without exhaustion. Let's get brutally honest. If I told you you could have a peaceful, happy, balanced life, would you believe me? Or would your first reaction be, that's not realistic. That's not for people like me. That mindset, that exhaustion is the default, that burnout is just part of life is the final and most dangerous symptom. In Japan, there's even a word for this, karoshi. Death by overwork. That's how normalized burnout has become in some cultures. Because once burnout becomes your identity, it becomes invisible. You stop questioning the system that broke you. You start believing that being constantly tired, anxious, numb, or angry is just how adulthood works. But it's not. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to live in overdrive. You're allowed to want more than just coping. Outro. So, how many of these habits felt familiar? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos.